How's it going, everyone? We're back with another weekly watch list for this upcoming week in the stock market. Before I go any further, though, I just wanted to say Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, if there are any watching this video. Obviously fathers are greatly appreciated, and I hope you've enjoyed your day. But let's get right into the video. So as always, I'll be watching SPY, QQQ, and IWM. So we'll be getting right into those. So first one up, we have SPY. So as always, I mark out previous day high, previous day low. So I actually take it down to a 15-minute time frame here first. So just so you guys can see this, I don't really cover it much in the watch list videos, but it's a really big part of my strategy. Every single day, marking out the previous day high, previous day low at the wick of the 15-minute high and low. And then I'll use a zone for that area as well to usually the next candle or so, wherever it looks clearest here, right? So you can see, we had this wick here. This was the low of day on Friday, but I'm not going to put this zone all the way up here. I mean, you could if you wanted to. I just think it's a little bit too big of a zone, so I went to the candles next to it. Right, same thing here on the inverse side. High of day was up here at this 542.8, but I'm not going to only do a teeny little zone to this candle high or candle close and open. So I am going to go to this body next door, if you will. So there's a little bit more room there, okay? So as far as support and resistance goes, also one thing you might be noticing is one thing I used to do actually, and I stopped doing it, was I used to mark the previous day close. And I stopped doing it for a while, and I've obviously had success without it, but I was like, I'm going to bring it back and put it on the chart. So I am marking every day's previous day close as well. And I know it's sitting in this zone, so technically it's the same thing, right? We close pretty much at the high of day on Friday, but I'm still going to keep it on the chart. And for potential support and resistance. And this past week, I forward tested it, right? Or every single day I had marked the previous day close. And I watched it very closely the next day. And every day on SPY, QQQ, except for IWM, because IWM is fucking crazy and sometimes doesn't even get near the previous day close. There was a strong reaction to it. QQQ, one of the days, even when we get to it, it was like a really nice break and retest, a couple days in a row, to go long on. It was really nice. So I am going to be marking that every day as well. So I have this here, and there's a gold dotted line. So, but just looking at other levels. So obviously, actually, let me go back to actually, you can look at it here on the 1 hour. My biggest levels are going to be like this trend line, number one. As you can see, it's very, very obvious. Break below this trend line, potentially move back down to this previous day low. My biggest area of support, obviously, main rejection this week's going to be all-time high. But my main area I'm going to be watching for is a pullback to this gap, right? So this 536 area, this 537. So this level here exactly is 537.01. So the high of this candle here, which was 537.01. I'm looking for a pullback there to fill that gap. That'll be my main bounce. Below that, I have this level here, which was like pre-FOMC, 535.65, and below that, 532. So that's going to be everything on SPY. Going over to SPX, again, always marking out previous day high, previous day low. Okay, so I have that previous day high, previous day low. Now you might be thinking, well, this previous day low isn't touching either of these wicks here. And that's just because I did move it down a little bit just to be closer to that whole number of 5,400. Like I've seen in the past, back tested and forward tested, the SPX usually has a lot of confluence around whole psych numbers, or a lot of the ETFs do. So I just moved it down just a little bit to this 5,400. So I'll be watching that for a bounce. Obviously resistances are just above here, 54.47 and 54.39. This could also be a profit target before reaching the all-time high. Below that, this is probably going to line up with that gap on daily on SPY. Most likely will, but this 53.75. So lines up with SPY for that bounce. All right, below that, these, like this one here, I know we've gone through it many times now, but I did leave it on the chart because I thought there was a lot of action there. You can see resistance, we went through, broke, retest, support, liquidity, broke through it again. So not as much action, clear action here, but it has been a good level, so I'm keeping it on the chart. And then below that, I have really this main one here. It's going to be this 53.24. So if you're wondering why I have like blue levels, I put blue levels at like potential or profit targets. They could be strong support, could be strong resistance. It's just a level that maybe we ran through already, but I don't want to take it off the chart just yet. And I know these ones are really close, so I'll be watching both of these. Obviously, it's pretty much the same level, aka just like a zone for a bounce if we do get down there. So next is going to be QQQ. So just take a look at this QQQ chart, right? It's just insane. So we definitely need to pull back here. I'm not looking to really trade it too much until we get more of a pullback. It's just been a giant rocket all the way up. I mean, if anything, I could bring out the fib tool here. Go from this pivot low here, take it to this pivot high, 61. I mean, that's pretty close to the daily gap, because that's going to be really the only thing that I'm watching on QQQ, right? Is a daily gap at 468. So that's going to be my main area to watch for a bounce. Same thing though, same system, right? Previous day high, previous day low, which is all-time high for resistance. Previous day low will be my first support. And then look, we have all these supports down here. So look, obviously not all of them are going to hit. So my first support though is going to be this 474.43. Below that, I have this 472.72. Now look, it was an intraday support back on Wednesday, because this is Wednesday's low. Okay, this is the FOMC day. So we pumped up, had that really weird FOMC day, kind of just chopped around, didn't really do jack shit. But it was that FOMC kind of support. So I am going to mark that again. That's why it's in blue, because it's potential. Okay, but below that was that low of day on Wednesday, 471.29, where we had that pump off of CPI, right? Or this was the pump off CPI, actually. So pre-market. But really that gap, that's why we formed that gap, because we had that major pump off CPI. So that 468 is my main area for a bounce, all right? And then below that, I do like that 465, though. Right, kind of we consolidated in this area for a bit before we had that strong breakout leading up to CPI. So I would see us retest this level here. I do like this, right? It was a nice level when we were consolidating. We broke through it strong without any retest. I will be watching that. Lastly, IWM. So first thing I want to talk about on IWM is the weekly. I mean, it's fucking disgusting. Like, look at this fucking candle. Like, holy shit. So listen, I mean, with candles like this, there's two things that can happen. Obviously, we go up or we go down. But theoretically speaking, or potentially speaking here, maybe we gap up a little bit. We open up somewhere around here, maybe this prior day close from Thursday, which I'll talk about in a second. And that kind of starts our wick before we make lower lows. Or we continue to gap down, we open up here, and we just push back down to here. Who knows? The biggest thing I'm going to be watching is, the reason I say that too, by the way, is just because I had many times where in the past, I'd see a candle like this, I'd be like, okay, it's obviously bearish. We're going to open here and we're just going to keep going down. But a lot of times we might gap up, retest the selling area up here. That starts your wick. The body ends up making a lower low down here, right? So we could sometimes too, we might fill this space. I see sometimes where it looks super bearish like this, right? And we open here and, we fill this entire space with a smaller green week before making another red week. So obviously we'll see. Don't have any crazy bias. But this 61 fib on the dailies. We had this impulse move up here, okay? Saw we bounced it the first time and we closed just above it here on Friday. So I'm really going to watch this 61 fib on the daily. So I probably won't be taking any day trades, on IWM on Monday. We'll see, unless something really good, of course, sets up, obviously fits in the criteria. But I want to see where we go with this fib. Do we close below it? Because that would probably confirm that, okay, we're probably going to head back down and maybe double bottom here, right? Or are we going to close above it again and maybe get some strength and maybe get back up here in this 201, 203 area, okay? So looking at the levels themselves, previous day high, previous day low, yesterday's close right here at 198.73, support or resistance. We break through it, retest, support, go up, previous day high, or back down. Now, I do have this Thursday's previous day close on there as well. Why? You might say, oh, well, it was Thursday and, I can remove it now. Well, we never tested it. So, again, it could be a great profit target. Let's say we get back up over this 250, right? This could be our first profit target. I mean, that's a pretty big profit target too. That's a $1.50 move, So but this would be a great place to scale. So again, it's a level where we saw resistance as well. It was a prior day close or a previous day close, Thursday, has not retested, right? So I'm going to keep it on the chart, okay? So those are my prior day closes that I'll keep on the chart. If we don't test them, I'll leave them on. And then as far as support goes, same type of thing like we saw on QQQ. If you look at the 4 hour, there's a bunch of support below. Obviously, we're not probably going to hit them all. So my favorite one, I honestly isn't even this 196. It's going to be this 194 or this 195, right? Because this does look a little bit demanding. Now I know this candle has a very large wick. That seems that there was a lot of selling here. But if you just take this kind of smallish red candle to this larger green candle, looks a little bit more like demand than this does, right? This 196. This 194 is what I'll be watching mostly, all right? So that's going to wrap everything up. Hope you could take away something from the video. You enjoyed. If you did, please consider watching, dropping a comment, dropping a like, sharing the video, whatever you want to do. I appreciate it. And again, happy Father's Day to all the incredible fathers out there. You know, we all need you. So anyways, hope you all have an amazing week, and I will see you all in the next video.